Welcome, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something really fascinating and maybe a bit unsettling. This idea of the seemingly perfect lives people build online.
That curated reality.
Exactly. And we've got a great source for this. It's excerpts from a voiceover script called The Illusory Life of Lisa.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it tells this incredible story of, well, digital deception. So, our mission today is to unpack Lisa's story, not just for the drama, but to figure out what it tells us about, like, authenticity, trust.
And the real price of keeping up that kind of online illusion,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah. And what's really striking here is just how easily it seems someone can build up this digital front, this persona,
Hmm.
and have it completely mistaken for, their actual life.
Right.
So, looking into Lisa's experience, it's not just about what she did, but maybe why it works and why we fall for it sometimes. It says a lot about how we handle information, how we navigate this whole digital world. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain on this, Lisa. The source introduces her as someone who, on Facebook, maybe other places, she just seemed to be living the absolute dream.
We're talking amazing trips.
Tropical beaches, that kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Designer shopping bags, big beaming selfies, and captions like, living my best life. You know the type.
Oh, definitely. We all see that.
And she got thousands of followers. Like, that was the proof, right?
Yeah.
The validation that this image was successful. It almost feels like the standard online playbook sometimes.
Absolutely. And the really compelling part is how she wasn't just posting nice pictures. She understood what society often links with success, with happiness, and she built this narrative very carefully that people really wanted to believe in.
Right.
So it's not just like simple lying, it's about using our own biases, our own desire for aspiration. Social media kind of feeds into that, doesn't it? It really does. But then you see the contrast between that shiny facade and Lisa's actual day-to-day. It's quite stark. Our source says that behind, every perfectly filtered photo, Lisa was actually living in a pretty small apartment,
Wow.
spending hours editing photos, even borrowing pictures from Google to fake these exotic trips she absolutely never took.
So completely fabricated.
Completely, those luxury bags, just good fakes, that happy smile, often just put on for the camera. She's basically building a personal brand around a success that just wasn't there, one post at a time. It's kind of exhausting to think about, isn't it?
It really is. And it's more than just, putting your best foot forward. This is active fabrication, using all the digital tools available, photo editing, finding images online to create a whole different reality.
Yeah.
And the bigger point here, I think, is how this chase for likes and followers, this sort of gamification of being online, how it can push people to these, well, pretty extreme lengths,
Yeah.
blurring that line between aspiration and just outright deception.
And it didn't stop there. The deception actually got deeper. As her follower numbers climbed, Lisa saw a chance to make money.
Ah, the monetization step.
Exactly. She started selling life coaching, claiming she could teach other people how to get the success she supposedly had.
Oh, boy.
And people trusted her. They gave her their money, and what they got back was, well, pretty generic advice.
Yeah.
Recycled quotes.
Stuff you could find anywhere.
Pretty much. She was selling a dream she wasn't living herself. Just an empty echo of her online fantasy.
And that really escalates things, doesn't it? It goes beyond just managing your image. Now it's about monetizing that illusion. And it really highlights a weak spot in this whole creator economy.
How so?
Well, when seeming authentic is the product, but there's no real checking of credentials, trust becomes incredibly fragile. People are making financial decisions, spending real money based on something completely made up.
Yeah.
It raises serious questions, I think, about protecting consumers and, the ethics of the platforms where this happens.
Yeah.
Should they be verifying claims more?
And then, well, like often happens with these kinds of stories, right? This house of cards. It collapsed.
Inevitable, perhaps.
Seems like it. A follower, someone really sharp-eyed, started digging around, uncovered the fake trips, found out the testimonials weren't real, even figured out who she actually was.
Wow, detective work.
Yeah, and the evidence just went viral. People reported her account like crazy, and eventually it got shut down. The whole illusion just poof, gone, crumbled under its own weight.
It really highlights how vulnerable this kind of digital deception is in the end. You might feel powerful building it up, but online communities can be surprisingly smart collectively. And digital stuff, it leaves traces, right? Exposure often happens. It's a lesson in accountability online. And the source really nails it, I think. Fame built on lies always crumbles. Lisa wanted followers, that validation, but she lost trust, which is, much harder to get back.
So, okay, pulling back from Lisa's specific story, what's the big takeaway here? What can we really learn from this deep dive? It feels like more than just don't fake it online.
Definitely. If we connect it back to the bigger picture, that message from the source really rings true.
Hmm.
Being real may not be perfect, but it's always powerful.
Hmm.
Lisa's crash wasn't just about getting caught, was it? It was kind of the unavoidable result of a life lived just for what other people thought, for the likes. This whole story challenges us, I think, to question the narratives we see online, sure, but maybe more importantly, to question the ones we build ourselves. What does living your best life actually mean if the performance takes over everything else?
That's a really good point. We hope this deep dive gets you thinking about that difference between performing success and, actually feeling fulfilled, and maybe encourages you to champion what's real, both online and offline.
It perhaps just reflect a little on how that pressure, that constant pressure to seem perfect online,
Yeah.
how it might be subtly nudging your own choices, and what real power, maybe even relief, there is in just choosing to be authentic instead.